Uh, First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahawah, Bar Shem, YAHAWASHI. Double honor to the elder apostle GMS who rule well. Salute you brothers pushing this word and truth to sincerity and the strength and power of Yahweh Shai. Right? We are here to gather the elect of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Right? And those are the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? Consist of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. And out here to prophesy the downfall of America, Babylon the Great, aka Egypt, aka Sodom and Gomorrah. And this wicked, destructive kingdom, right, which is set up by the so-called white man, which is Esau. That's their biblical nationality, right? And I'm gonna start off with Sirach. Start off with Sirach 46 and 14. By the law of the Lord, he judged the congregation, and the Lord have respect unto Israel. So the Lord, the Most High, respect Israel according to the covenant, right? He acknowledged and looked back at the nation of Israel because of the covenant. Go from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? That's why he delivered them out of ancient Egypt, because of the covenant. Okay? Because of the covenant. Now I get it. This is Exodus. Jumping around. This is Exodus 2. Exodus 2 and 20, like around 25. And Yahawah looked upon the children of Israel, and Yahawah have respect unto them. Okay, I'll read that again. This I started 24. This Exodus 2 and 24. And Yahawah heard the groaning, and Yahawah remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. Verse 25. And Yahawah looked upon the children of Israel, and Yahawah have respect unto them. Okay? So I read this again. This is Sirach 46 and 14. By the law of the Lord, he judged the congregation. So what does the Lord use to judge the congregation? The law. Okay? What is YAHAWASHI going to use to judge the earth? The law. So I read that again. It says, by the law of the Lord, he judged the congregation, and the Lord have respect unto Jacob. Why? Because of the covenant. Okay? Now, we're finna read Mark, the first chapter, in the first verse. It says, the beginning of the gospel of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, the Son of the Most High. Now, when you look up the word gospel in the blue letter, when you look up the word gospel in the blue letter, the word gospel means the glad tidings of salvation through a Mashiach. And a Mashiach is another way of saying Christ. Okay? A Mashiach means anointed. Okay? And that's how you say anointed in Hebrew, a Mashiach. Okay? So the gospel, meaning the glad tidings of salvation through a Mashiach, through the word entity called Jesus, which is the Savior of Israel. So that's what the gospel's about. Okay? This Mark chapter 1, verse 1. The beginning of the gospel of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, the Son of the Most High. Right? Verse 2. As it is written in the prophet, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Now, where is that in the prophets? That's in the book of Malachi. Let's go there. This is Malachi, the 3rd chapter. Now, when Mark is writing this, right? When Mark is writing this, right? The book of Mark was written around 50 to 60 AD, circa. Okay, around that area. That's when the book of Mark was written. 50 or 60 AD, circa. Meaning around in that area, around that time. Okay? Now, what we finna read in Malachi, right? Malachi was written between 450 BC and 400 BC. Okay? BC goes down. Okay? You start BC, say things you got 450, and BC goes down to 400. And AD goes up. Say for instance you got the 1900s. So now you got 2017. So it goes up. So the book of Malachi, circa, according to the scholars, it was written around 450 or 400 BC, circa, in that area. Okay? This is Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare thy way before me. And the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple. Even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in, behold, he shall come, saith the Lord host. So through Malachi, the Most High was letting Israel know that he was going to send a messenger, which was John the Baptist, right? And he was going to prepare the way for who the world ignorantly called Jesus, which is YAHAWASHI. But in that verse, what did it deal with? It mentioned a covenant. It mentions agreement. So who had a covenant? Who deals with the covenant? Okay? The covenant goes to the nation of Israel. That's who the covenant deals with. I'll read it again. It says, this Malachi 3:1, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare thy way before me, and the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple. Now you got to remember, who is the temple? That's you as a people. You are the temple, and the temple is the nation of Israel. Okay? I'll read this. This 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? So who is the temple? When Paul was writing this, he was writing to the Israelites that was in Corinth, Greece. Okay? So that's who he was writing to, the Israelites in Corinth, Greece. Okay? And he was telling them that there was a temple. Right? Now I'll read this again. This is Malachi 3:1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare thy way before me, and the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in, behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay? So John, right? Going back to Mark. There's Mark chapter 1, verse 1. The beginning of the gospel. And what is that dealing with? Salvation through YAHAWASHI. Of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, the Son of the Most High. As it is written in the prophets. What prophet? Malachi. Okay? Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Right? So, I'm finna go to Matthew's and see what the Lord himself said. Matthew 11 and 9. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet question. Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Okay? Which he's talking about John the Baptist. Okay? And John the Baptist was speaking on YAHAWASHI, and YAHAWASHI is letting them know, look, John the Baptist was talking about me. Okay? He said, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Verily, I say unto you, among them they are born of woman, there had not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. Okay? So he's telling Israel, look, it's him. He is the one that John the Baptist was talking about in the prophets. Okay? Which he's referring to Malachi. Okay, the 3rd chapter. Verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violence take it by force. So, even until John the Baptist and until now, the kingdom of heaven has suffered violence. Who is that? The nation of Israel. Because it's a people before it's a place. Okay? Suffered violence. Okay? They were taken down by all the other empires, right? Those around about them, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Persians, the Medes, you know, and then up under the Romans. Okay? They always suffer violence every time they transgress the laws of YAHAWASHI. You know, every time they transgress the covenant. It says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violence taken by force. Okay? For all the prophets and the laws prophesied until John. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which is Elijah, which was for to come. So he telling Israel that John the Baptist is a reincarnation of Elijah, which reincarnation means back again, incarnation mean in the flesh. Okay? So Elijah's spirit was put back in John the Baptist. Elijah and John the Baptist is the same person. Okay? It says, verse 14, and if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that had ears to hear, let him hear. Not just regular ears on your head. It's dealing with a spiritual ear. We have to have spiritual understanding to receive what YAHAWASHI is saying. Okay? And it says, verse 15, He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Verse 16, but whereunto shall I liken this generation? Question. It is like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling unto their fellows. Right? So within the marketplace, because you got Israel shopping, you got them doing all things, you know, in their daily life, okay, in the marketplace. So the Lord was sent out to call Israel to salvation, but Israel was not taking heed. Not all Israel took heed, okay? Dealing with John the Baptist. Some of them came to John the Baptist, not all of them believed, okay? Some of them came to YAHAWASHI, not all of them believed, okay? This is, and we doing the same thing today, okay? A lot of transaction goes on in downtown Little Rock, okay? That's where we at, downtown Little Rock, Arkansas. So a lot of transaction goes on there. That's why you see people walking back and forth, okay? And when you go on down the street, it's a lot of businesses down there, okay? So they have to come on this street to do business, okay? And shop and do what they do, okay? This verse 17, saying, we have piped unto you. How do we pipe unto you? By the word, teaching his word, telling them salvation, telling Israel salvation is for them through who the world entity called Jesus, right? We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented, okay? So you ain't came back and repented, okay? Change your mind or change your ways to receive salvation. So Israel wasn't doing it back then. 2/3 of our people weren't doing it back then, and 2/3 of them not doing it now, okay? But they were sent. John was sent to Israel, and YAHAWASHI was sent to Israel, okay? For repentance and the remission of sins, okay? So we going back over here, right? The mark. This mark, but that point was me reading it. I'm reading out of the book of Mark, and then I went to Matthew to show that Mark was quoting the Old Testament, and YAHAWASHI was quoting the Old Testament, which was Malachi. That's the whole purpose of me reading Malachi, to show you that it's in the Old Testament, okay? And when you read Malachi, the 3rd chapter, what's mentioned in there? A covenant, okay? This Mark chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning of the gospel of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, the Son of the Most High, as it is written in the prophet Malachi, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Right? The voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. Okay? So we're going to go to Isaiah, the 40th chapter. Let's see what that's talking about. Isaiah, the 40th chapter, right? This is Isaiah 40:1. Comfort ye, my people, saith the Lord. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. For she had received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. Verse 3, the voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our power. So Where did they get that saying from? That's in the book of Mark. They got out the Old Testament. Where they get that prophecy from? Out of the Old Testament and the prophets in the book of Isaiah. Okay? And when you read that chapter, who is it dealing with? Israel. Okay? It's dealing with Israelites. And in the Old Testament, you got to know the difference between when it's talking about, when it's dealing with strangers, when it's dealing with Goyim, when it's dealing with Gar. That's just to name a few. You got to know when it's talking about Israel and when it's not talking about Israel. Okay? This is Isaiah 40 and 1. Comfort ye my people, saith the Lord. Speak comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished. All her iniquities that she was,